go grab your moisturizers. And we're gonna take a look at your ingredients list. Okay, so this is for moisturizers on what to look for if you have oily skin. So, all moisturizers have a balance of, or I should say most moisturizers, have a balance of humectants, emollients, and occlusives. So with oily skin, the problem isn't that you're not making enough oil. You're actually making too much oil. And if your skin doesn't have enough water or moisture in your skin, then your skin produces too much oil. So what you want to do is, if you have dehydrated skin, and if you don't know the difference between having dehydrated and dry, then you can click on the video and I'll put a link in the description below. And it tells you the kind of descriptions that your skin may look and feel like to tell the difference. So let's say your skin needs more water. Then you need to add more water to your skin versus more oil, because you're already producing too much oil. I have a disclaimer. If you are using a treatment cream, so a cream for hyperpigmentation, a cream that helps with oil control, a cream that helps with acne, typically they will have some form of humectant. Usually it will be glycerin. But a lot of times what I hear from my clients is when they're using treatment creams, they feel like their skin is not getting enough hydration, or they're not getting enough moisturizers. And that is because it's a treatment cream. So if you're using a treatment cream, you may need a hydrating serum or some kind of a different moisturizers that you need to work into your protocol to balance out the moisture along with getting the treatment. So that is my caveat there. So all moisturizers typically will have humectants listed as one of the top ingredients. So if you look at your moisturizers, a lot of the times the second, third, fourth ingredient will be glycerin. That's a more common humectant. And humectants basically draw moisture from the air. Now, a humectant is a blessing and it can be a curse. It's a double-edged sword. And the reason why is because humectants draw moisture from the air, and if there's not enough moisture in the environment or air, it actually starts to draw up moisture from your skin to bring it up towards the top of the skin. So it could actually end up dehydrating your skin even more if you don't have enough moisture. So one, if you don't have enough moisture in the air or on your skin, you can actually experience TOOL, which is transepidermal water loss. Or if you're living in an arid climate, which will suck the moisture on top of your skin, you need to have an occlusive agent. And an occlusive agent basically sits on top of your skin and prevents whatever is underneath from evaporating. So here's a short list of humectants. So go ahead and look at your moisturizer. A lot of times I know the ingredients sometimes are not listed on the bottle, it's actually on the box, but start looking at your ingredients. So these are some of the humectants that draw moisture to your skin. Glycerin, hyaluronic acid, urea, panthenol, sorbitol, honey, gelatin, butylene glycol, propylene glycol, sodium PCA, and aloe vera gel. Now, those are just a short list of humectants, but those are some of the more common humectants that draw moisture to your skin. So some ingredients such as urea and lactic acid can cause dry, itchy, scaly skin. So you may have to watch out for that. So here's where it gets tricky. Oily skin still needs emollients and occlusive agents in moisturizers to prevent the skin from getting dehydrated. And that is why some of the more common occlusive agents such as fatty alcohols, fatty acids, cholesterol, petroleum can break out oily skin types. Instead, look for products like this. So if you have really oily skin, you may opt for a moisturizing gel, especially in the summertime when people tend to sweat more, is higher water content and lower in the emollient and occlusive agents. So you may want to start with this and then even layer on top of that if this is not enough. The next level is you might want to use a cream gel like this, where it may have a little bit more of emollients, and the occlusive agent may be a silicone, such as cyclomethicone or dimethicone. Now the thickest one that I have here is right here on the top, where it's more like a cream texture, and that you might look at your ingredients list and see disoleate or decoleate, isopropyl palmitate, and isosteryl alcohol. So these are some of the different levels and examples of moisturizers. So as you can see, level 1 is the water-based gel. Level 2 is like more of a cream gel. And then level 3 is actually very, very solid. You can see both of these are starting to drip here, and this one is still solid. So the humectants in this typically will be aloe vera gel or hyaluronic acid or even glycerin or Luminara digita, which is a type of seaweed. Those could be your more water-based type of humectants. This is not exactly like the ordinary natural moisturizing factor HA. It's actually, the texture would be in between this and this one here. So the second ingredient that they use is caprylic triglyceride, which is a combination of coconut oil and a glycerin. So coconut oil is typically heavier oil and can be comedogenic for some skin types. So if you see that for the second ingredient, probably not ideal for people who have really oily skin and or breakout. The alcohol that you'll see a lot of times is cetyl alcohol, and that has like a waxy substance to it. So for those of you who have oily skin, but it's like super, super dehydrated, one of the ones that you can use is UB. It's the Ultra Hydration. It's a fragrance-free with chamomile extract. It's paraben-free, fragrance-free, and basically instead of water being the first ingredient, it's actually glycerin, which is a humectant, and it also uses isopropyl myristate, which is actually really good for restoring the skin's barrier. So that one is another one that you can use if you have breakout prone skin, because the occlusive in that is less likely to break out most people's skin. So if you're liking this type of information and you're finding it helpful, or you know someone who's struggling to find a moisturizer for oily skin, please go ahead and share this video, give us a thumbs up, and if you're not following us, then go ahead and hit subscribe. Basically, to find the best moisturizer and you have oily skin is to make sure that you look at your ingredients list and try to find the ones that are higher and have more humectants and less in the occlusive agents, and you still have to have an occlusive agent in there. So avoid more of the oils and waxes and look more for the silicones that help keep the moisture in your skin to prevent skin dehydration, because then you're just going to produce more oil. So if you live in a really dry climate, and you don't have any added moisture, it's going to end up sucking the moisture from your skin. So make sure you use a hydrating mist or some kind. I recommend a hydrating mist that actually has more humectants in it. But if you don't have that, you can spray your face. Make sure your face is really moist, and then add on the humectant, because that is going to molecularly basically attract those water molecules onto your skin, and then you can put your occlusive agent on top, which is a moisturizer. It could be like a silicone based. So remember, makeup is an art, skincare is a science.